to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ebro, Laura, and Rosenberg, but mostly Ebro. Why? Laura got the Rona, and your man Rosenberg got the vaccine yesterday, knocked him on his back. So they not here to celebrate our brother Belly with me today. Belly, what's going on, man?
What's up, my brother? What's up, man?
Motherfuckers is out here knocked down right now on this show, bruh.
Man, I see it. A couple of my homies got the vaccine yesterday. They were supposed to come here and work, and yeah, they were just kind of pale and a little bit down, you know. So I just told them to go home.
How I mean, we heavy Lakers today, man. You got your Lakers complex, you know. Takashi Murakami join on.
I've been a Laker fan since I was a kid, man.
Yo, I inherited it from my dad too, man. But everybody make fun of me because my local New York team is the Brooklyn Nets. You know what I'm saying? I've been down since the Barclays Center was built. You feel me?
Yeah. I mean, look, it's crazy for me because I growing up in Canada, and like all the music that I love was from Brooklyn. You know, like I loved Hove, I loved Big, so it was like it's hard for me to like root against Brooklyn. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, you can't
unless Lakers, then it's like this different story. But I like watching the Nets play. You know.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, Belly's back on the scene. We're going to talk about where he's been, but he's celebrating his birthday. Happy birthday, and you're releasing 2 songs, man. You got Benny the Butcher on one of the tracks. Talk about that collab real quick, because you know Benny hot out here. So you and him in the studio, his writing ability, your writing ability. Talk about this record, man. Money on the Table.
I think like when I first sparked, like the idea first sparked for the record, like it felt mad nostalgic to me, and I feel like that's the feeling Benny gives me. Is like, you know, he reminds me of like that golden era of hip hop, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was like a no brainer for me. And then Benny's like one of the only features on this album because of like the lockdown and everything. It was hard to see people, but Benny was one of the only people that actually pulled up at the crib. We did the song together in the house. Just a great dude, man. You know, a great dude, and just probably one of my favorite artists out right now. So it was like a no-brainer to put him on that joint. Like I heard him on it before I even put him on it, you know?
Now, you been in the game now. A lot of people don't know your early beginnings in Canada, in Ottawa, before, you know, linking up with the XO family. And you know, you had records with Snoop, 15 years ago now, right?
Yeah. Like, yeah, at least that. Something like that, yeah.
And so then you went on, you songwriting, rhyming, doing your thing. Over this last year and change, you actually took a little time off to focus on yourself. Tell us that, you know, what you learned about yourself, those revelations, just mental health and physical health, and where you're at right now.
I mean, I'm sure you know, like the last time I was up there, you know, we were like celebrating like, you know, my weight loss and all kind of things. But it was like, it wasn't the right type of physical, revolution for me. It wasn't the time, it was, you know, I wasn't right here. You feel me? Like if I was losing weight and all that stuff, it was like happening because I was kind of focused, but I wasn't really on my thing, you know? So I feel like I fell into like a dark hole, like a depression about a couple years ago, you know what I mean? And it's something I've struggled with my whole life, but I've always managed to like keep it in check to a certain degree and make sure that I could do the things I need to do. I think a lot of things happened to me around that time that kind of pushed me into a place that it was like, you know, it was somewhere I had to really just reassess everything. You know what I mean? So I sat down. I reassessed my physical health. I had gained so much weight back, and even in the beginning of the pandemic, I gained most of my weight back.
Damn.
And you know, that affects your mental health even more. So it put me more into that vicious circle. And then I think that though, like that, it's almost like a car collision. You feel me? Like after that, it's like you got 2 ways to go. It's like you either get up now and you get back to doing what you do, find your way, or you're gonna lay here and you're just gonna die eventually. You know what I mean? Like, so I really that moment really shined the light on me in terms of like being like, nah, this is it, man. And Kobe had just passed, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, the Mamba mentality thing was something that was so strong with me, because every time I didn't want to get out of bed, you know, to get active in the morning, for example, I'd be like, nah, Mamba mentality, let's go, get up. You know what I mean? You gotta mute that voice, that, you know, that loser voice. You know, you gotta and that's really what I started doing, getting active every day, 2 hours a day. I fixed my diet. In turn, it helped me think clearer and think better. I didn't have all these thoughts racing. I wasn't pacing around the house because I would get all that energy out right in the morning. And from there, man, it was just like one little seed that just kept turning into something bigger and bigger. God bless. I've lost probably 75% of the weight that I put back on.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, brother. And you know, and then mentally, of course, like that was the most important thing. I've been reading at least an hour a day. Just doing things to just get myself back to like the person that I remember, the person that, like, you know, the person I was confident being, you know what I mean? And I'm not all the way there yet, but
yeah, we all a work in progress, man. And and the thing is, you know, once you have a regiment, you know, whatever your day to day is, right? This is what I do on this day. This is what I do on these days, and you lean into that. You live that, you know, that reality, and you live that schedule. When you slip for a couple of days, you could get back on that schedule.
Yeah.
Once you know what it is, you know what I mean? But yeah, and also like you're in a great place, I think, because you've also realized and can feel the difference, and you prefer the way you feel when you're making progress than you feel when you're not. And so once you fall in love with that feeling of like, yo, this right here is the feeling I want, you're gonna go for that. And even if, you know, look, man, you know, we go on vacation, you know what I'm saying? We start bugging, you know, have a few days where you bugging, you be like, yo, I'm ready to get back to that feeling though. And so, and that's man. Cool, man. You got to take a break. You got to give yourself some outlets and take a break, whether that's in your work life or in your personal, physical, you know, maintenance life. You gotta have some moments where you know, let your guard down a little bit and chill.
I agree, man. I think it was the smartest decision I made, you know.
There it is. Belly celebrating a big birthday. Been in the game for a minute. Put out some great albums. Is a great songwriter too. You should go check his resume. The time that you just took off due to, you know, obviously COVID, and you was trying to get your mind right. Is there anything that you could share with individuals that are dealing with similar challenges as you, whether it's depression? You know, there's definitely a spectrum there and levels of depression. People who are dealing with weight management issues. Is there any learning or something you did? You know, you spoke about that motivation of just even thinking about Kobe and the Mamba mentality, reading an hour a day. Did you have a daily schedule where it was like, look, every day, here's my schedule, and you were able to stick to it?
Yeah. I feel like when it came down to me wanting to, like, example, right? When I wanted to get physically active, I was like, what's something that I could do and I'm not feeling like I'm working out? I love to play ball. So every day I got one of my homies from Toronto, my boy Chosen, who's like a physical trainer, but he came out here. We ain't do no type of training. He was like, yo, we need about 2 hours of cardio a day. You love to play ball? All right, we're playing 2 hours of ball a day. And I was losing, like, you know, something like 1,700 calories every morning before I even started my mean. And that just like boosted everything I was doing on the eating side, you know. And I think my biggest piece of advice, and I think the thing that I learned most even about myself, right, is that you're not always going to be in the right mind state to do what you want to do. You're always going to want to do it, right? It's not always going to, like, you're going to wake up one day and know that you're not supposed to eat this and know that you're not supposed to do that, and you're going to do all of that. You know what I mean? And you're going to feel like, damn, like I have no willpower. But that's not the case. You know, you got to look at it over like a long term. Is that if you can just train yourself to think that way, eventually it's going to turn into action. You know what I mean? And that's what happened with me. It's like for like a year, it's not like I didn't know I was messing up and doing all the wrong shit. I knew in my mind, I knew. Right. And it's like the worst part about it is I had no willpower to stop it, or I didn't think I did. And as soon as I got into the right mind state, it was like it became easy. It became like, yo, how did I ever struggle with these things? You know what I mean? So if there's any advice I would give out there to, like, you know, people struggling or just trying to accomplish anything, just start with a seed, man. You know, that's the biggest tree in the world. Started with a seed, you know, and that's all it was for me. That little seed of motivation that I needed changed my entire life. It changed my existence, you know.
Well, welcome back to the scene, bro, and I'm glad you got your mind together. 2 new singles right now out from Belly. Just to recap for the audience, too, you started out rap and hip-hop has been your passion and dream and where you've spent all your professional time mostly in your years. I just want for the, you know, we're in a different space in hip-hop now, you know what I'm saying, where people talk about, remember it was always like, oh, it's a young man's game, it's this man, you know, it's always about the kids, it's about this, and that's an aspect of hip-hop. But there's a lot of phenomenal careers that are happening for people at 30 plus.
Yeah.
And, you know, for you, when you broke out of Canada and started to make your way into the United States, when did you make that I guess, cross that bridge, let's say it, because I don't want to say it was a complete transition because you're still a solo artist, but helping other people with their music. Was that always a part of what you did in your career? Or did you at a certain point go, yo, I help you with this and help this one with that one, and I enjoy writing songs for people too?
I came in the game writing and rapping.
Got it.
You know, so the first artist that we had in Canada, Masari, you know, I was songwriting for him at the same time as putting out my mixtapes. This is like probably like in, you know, 2003 or something. You know what I mean? Or 2005 or something like that. But so I think that was perfect for me though, because it was like the best prerequisite to, like, when I came out here, I realized that's the name of the game. Like, you're gonna walk in studios, people hear something they like, before they tell you, yo, let me jump on it, they're gonna be like, yo, let me get it. You know, and I feel like that's the name of the game out here. So, you know, stuff that I wasn't married to or like that wasn't too personal to me, I was like, take it, man. Like, I'll make this again. I'll make it right now. You know what I mean? I was always confident in that sense of like, yo, I'll make the shit again, you know. And I was never like super married to records unless they were like personal. And yeah, that's how that thing broke out, you know.
As far as like where you are in, has that freed up your ability to be whatever type of artist you want to be? Has that made you more free as an artist now that you have so much success as a songwriter? Because I definitely see some freedom and, you know, a different energy. I've watched you over the years and talked to you over the years of you finding a sound that you just, for this is, I'm trying to be dope hip hop. I don't give a fuck about none of that other shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I think in the beginning, it was like that, like how you're saying. It's just like I didn't give a fuck. I was just like, yo, I'm just make what I like, you know? But when you do that enough, it resonates because it's like you're doing you know what I mean? You're not trying to be somebody else. So like a lot of my fans, I don't got millions of fans and all this, but my fans gonna be here, bro. I didn't put out music for 3 years. My fans were still right there every single day. You know what I mean? They really like kept me wanting to come back to this thing because I was like, I'm not, you know, like there's still people that want to listen. You know what I mean? And I think like, you know, with all that stuff, man, like for me, the songwriting, the most important thing it did this time around for me was when I was in my rut and I was down in the dumps, you know, Abel reached out to me to work on the After Hours album, and it brought me, I think, like the inspiration behind how amazing, you know, that world was. It like inspired me to be like, yo, I gotta make music again. Like I want to make an album. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And like it opened up because I was really blocked for a long time. I've never experienced that. You know, I've never experienced being like, yo, I can't write, or if something affects me, I can't write about it. I've never had that feeling before. And when I got into that moment, it was only a few things that could get me out. I didn't really know, but once I did the songwriting, it like opened up my mind again into like thinking like that and wanting to make albums and songs.
Has that been, have you gone to therapy too? Are you a guy that, you know, goes to a therapist? Does that, like, unpacking that stuff help you with your songs too? Because I found myself talking to a lot of artists, especially young ones recently who, you know, clearly have been through trauma and being locked up early and losing people and coming from neighborhoods that are super violent. And you end up talking to them about this kind of stuff where you're like, yo, man, you probably should go talk to somebody before this world, chews you up and spits you out, because this entertainment thing is very unforgiving and you got to be grounded to survive this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, man. And therapy to me was the best thing. And honestly, a lot of people think it's because you get to vent, which is great. I love to be able to just spill everything on the table, no judgment. You know what I mean? But I think what people don't realize is, like, this is somebody's profession. Like, they had to read hours and hours of books and do tests and exams and all this on how your mind works, right? So me being how I am, when I first went in there, I was like, man, this lady's not gonna outsmart me. Like, what are you gonna say to me that I don't know about myself?
You went in like it was a battle.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, I really did. But they peep all of that, man. And I had such a good therapist, and she really, like, she just knew, like, how, like, she knew where my mind was going, and she would know how to, like, kind of turn it to the right direction and show me, like, okay, that's wrong. Like, I used to think it was a quality to think that I was always wrong. I was like, yo, that's a good quality to be like, yo, if somebody fucked up with me, that was my fault. I let them get that close, and she was the first person in my life to be like, that's not a good thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, none of that is, all the stuff you talking about, none of that is good. You know what I mean? Like, you gotta change your mind to put yourself first. And it sounds selfish, it sounds crazy, but you gotta be the first guy. You know what I mean? You can't think you're wrong about everything, because you're not. And it was just little things like that, teaching me not to try to go around problems and go through problems.
Right.
Actually, like, to go through it. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of those, like, concepts I had never heard before, bro. I didn't grow up in that type of world where I would hear these type of concepts and these type of, like, mental exercises. And it really worked, man. It really resonated, and it changed a lot of my like negative habits, I'd say.
Well, look, I want to get into this If You Know joint, solo track coming up off your project now. It's Belly's birthday. You got an album on the way, you said?
Yeah. So the album's done. These are, like, the first 2 looks from the album. And again, man, like you said earlier, like, for me, this rap shit, bro, it's not trying to, just do something or make something. You know what I mean? This right here, I spent what people spend on big budget pop and R&B feature videos for what I spent on the Benny and the other rap videos I'm doing on this. So, like, this is really for my love of the game. This is why I'm back. You know what I mean?
Contributing to the culture.
Sir, always.
There it is, Belly. If you know, you know. When's this album coming out?
I mean, as of now, I just want to see what these singles do. How they react, how it resonates with the people. See what my fans.
And then you're gonna flood the system after that.
You already know. Then yeah, Belly season begins for real.
You know what I mean? So we're gonna get both of these joints. So I want them to hear this solo joint too before we get to the Benny the Butcher. We're gonna play them back to back. Money on the table. If you know, Belly. It's good seeing you, brother. Keep grinding. Keep contributing to the culture. Keep being amazing. You know what I'm saying? We're here to support you. And happy birthday, bro.
Thank you, man. And I just want to say before I go, man, I appreciate you, bro, because you were one of the people that reached out just randomly to check on me and see if I was alive. You know what I mean?
Man.
I appreciate that type of shit, because
I didn't know you was going through some crazy shit. I just was like, yo, let me check on Belly.
Nah, still, it meant a lot to me, man. Because like I said, it was a lot of people that I knew and had these type of relationships with, I didn't hear from. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that.
No, it's love, bro. Keep going, man. I'm going to see you soon.
Love, brother. Thank you.
All right, respect, man. Belly, right here, man. Let's get to it. New music.